Today we're going to talk about the 9th James Bond film, The Man with the Third Nipple. I mean, The Man with the Golden Gun. What's up, everybody? Justin Watch Movies here. Today we'll be continuing my James Bond series leading up to No Time to Die. Today we're going to talk about the 9th James Bond film, The Man with the Golden Gun, which was released in 1974 and once again was directed by Guy Hamilton. This starred Roger Moore in his second James Bond film out of 7 James Bond films, and starred Christopher Lee as Francisco Scaramanga. James Bond is led to believe that he is targeted by the world's most expensive assassin while he attempts to recover sensitive solar cell technology that is being sold to the highest bidder. Live and Let Die was the previous James Bond film starring Roger Moore, and that was a really live-ish, crazy James Bond film that I enjoyed. And I don't remember too much of The Man with the Golden Gun growing up, or mostly any of the Roger Moore films. So I'm going into these movies kind of new, as I focus a lot on the Sean Connery and Timothy Dalton and Pierce Brosnan films growing up. But I was really excited to see this film because I do know Francisco Scaramanga is a really iconic James Bond villain, and we have the henchman, Knick-Knack in the movie, and just the Golden Gun in general. I was looking forward to seeing this movie again because it's been years since I've watched this film. And this movie, compared to Live and Let Die, is tamer than that movie. It's not as outlandish, as crazy as that film. And honestly, at times, it's a bit boring. There's a lot of dialogue within this movie, but I still think that it is an enjoyable James Bond. Like I've said in most of the other videos, I love each James Bond movie in a different way, but there's stuff to appreciate about this film. There's some impressive action scenes within this movie. There's a scene with the Bond girl, Goodnight is her name, and she is trying to track Francisco Scaramanga, and she gets caught in his trunk of his car, and so James Bond goes on the chase to try to save her, and Sheriff J.W. Pepper returns from Live and Let Die, and he gets involved with James Bond. So there's a really well-filmed car chase scene, and it has one of the iconic James Bond movements where he tries to jump over this bridge that's kind of tilted sideways, so he does a loop-de-loop. It's filmed really well, but it has an odd sound effect that goes with it, and it kind of takes you out of the moment.
You're not thinking that.
I sure am, boy.
Ever heard of Evel Knievel?
But the action scenes are impressive in the movie. Scaramanga lives on this island with his servant, I guess, his henchman, Knick-Knack. And on this island is a fun house where Scaramanga brings people, and James Bond as well, and has them in here, and it's like a fun house. There's mirrors and everything. It's really bizarre. But I like some of the action scenes within here. It's kind of intense, even if it's a little bit silly. Roger Moore is good in this film. He kind of channels Sean Connery a little more in this movie, whereas in Live and Let Die, he was really laid back. He was relaxed. He's a little more tough in this movie. He gets what he wants. He knows how to ask the right questions and get the right answers. It's definitely a better performance from Live and Let Die. Christopher Lee is really great in this movie as the James Bond villain, Francisco Scaramanga, and I really like his performance in here. It's chilling at times. He is able to match James Bond's strength in the movie, so it has a lot of interesting moments between the two. I was anticipating the moment between them two standing back to back, and I kind of got disappointed with that. I felt like the climax of the film should have been a little bit longer, but it was still cool to see them two fight it out. Knick-Knack is Scaramanga's dwarf manservant and accomplice. Later on, he also went on to be Tattoo in Fantasy Island, and for his size, he causes a lot of big problems for James Bond. He just doesn't stand back and be pointless in the movie. I really liked his performance in the movie. The movie moves a little bit slow at times, and it is really silly, and there's some odd choices for some of the action scenes, and the climax does feel a bit disappointing. I like Roger Moore's performance within this movie, and Francisco Scaramanga is a good villain, and we have the iconic Golden Gun in the film, and it is such an odd choice to have him with a third nipple. I think the choice to have this villain with the third nipple is really odd, and just have it be the first thing that's really shown within the movie. It made me laugh right away. And that's what the Roger Moore movies do, is they make you laugh compared to the Sean Connery films. But The Man with the Golden Gun was decent at times, a bit slow, not one of the best James Bond films. I'm gonna go ahead and give The Man with the Golden Gun a B-. Thank you guys for checking my review for The Man with the Golden Gun. Stay tuned. Next week I got a review for The Spy Who Loved Me, the 10th James Bond film. My name is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.